In every property sale, there has to be a price set. Now, this is not the price that the property ultimately sells for, this is the starting price at which it goes on the market. And there are lots of different ways of setting this price. In theory, the agent is the expert. The agent has access to the resources, the ability to do the research, and also should have the experience then to come up with an appropriate starting price to put a property on the market which is reasonable and achievable. This doesn't always happen, however. There are lots of market forces that come into play here, such as a vendor's inflated opinion of their own property, or agents that you're competing against that are giving an inflated price in order to win the listing, and then they'll adjust it later. What we're going to talk about here is a method of selecting a price which is slightly independent from the norm, and it's based on fact, which is always a good starting point to be grounded upon. The way this, what we call self-select pricing, works is that you take your comparatives of houses as close as you can get to the one that's being listed. And with these listed on a sheet, you can then go through them individually and pose the question to the vendor. Where do you think your home fits in this selection of property prices? And go through each property, discuss its benefits, its merits, its downfalls in relation to the subject property of the vendor. Now, usually it will become quite clear that the vendor's property is better than some of the ones listed and not as good as others that are listed. And this should lead the vendor to a clear indication of what the price is of their particular property. Now, this means that you're not doing too much persuasion on this point. The vendor, again, is drawing their own conclusion based on the evidence that you're putting in front of them on the sales that have taken place in the area recently on similar properties. So this is a good starting point because the vendor is coming to this decision in their own mind and not feeling pressured by you as the agent to come up with a price that they don't believe is high enough or low enough or fair enough or anything like that. So use your comparative market properties to run the self-select property pricing. You'll see an example of the way these are presented in the material, and this takes a bit of practice, and there's a few scripts around this that you'll uncover with your role play partner as you role play self-select property pricing.